Hello everyone and welcome back. This is game 2 in this best of 5 finals of the Chinese qualifier of the Stars Wars 7 tournament. It's between MacSed, our blue Protoss here in the 7 o'clock position representing IG against his opponent in the 1 o'clock position, Sen, our red Zerg representing Gamma Bears. He's up 1-0 over MacSed. And now we're moving on to Cloud Kingdom. And curiously enough, I don't know which one is the correct one, but definitely the player's like loading some wrong maps or something. This one does have neutral supply depots, whereas our earlier match did not. So just keep that in mind, guys. No triple pylon block is possible here. PvZ on this map is fantastic. I love it. I love it. I hope we're going to see a good game between these guys. Looks like Sen going for an exceedingly quick drone scout. You don't do this unless you're going to like go proxy ash or something. In fact, look at that. He is hiding the drone. He knows that's when probes get there. He's clearly practiced this build. Otherwise, the drone gets spotted by the probe moving out. And then the probe's like, why is there a drone moving out that quickly? And they like block your hatchery or something. So Sen going for a hatch first at his opponent's base. Is he going to do it at the natural? Is he going to do it inside the main? What's his plan here? Hiding at the Zonica Tower for now until he gets the minerals. Cute play. This probe's going to be so faked out, like, oh, there's no pool, I'm going to go block the hatchery, and then nothing happens. He's going to like go back up and there's still no pool. He's going to be like real confused. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? It's been spotted. He's going for it. He's going for it. Oh, and that placement is very deliberate. Doesn't put it back over there yet again. I really got to be curious why, but that's cool. Maybe, just maybe, guys, keep this in mind. Let's say the Protoss, oh my god, he's going Forge Gate really quickly, so maybe he's going to try to get a Zealot out. Let's say the Protoss drops a cannon, because the hatchery's right here. They drop a cannon at normal positioning, knowing how far away the hatchery is, like, it can be totally fine. Instead of, like, if your hatchery's here and they put the cannon all the way right here, then when you make a creep tumor, it's like the cannon isn't even in range. I don't know. Maybe that's why. But he's going to pull 5 probes. Hopefully we'll see a cannon start the second the Forge finishes. Yes, he will, so I'm loving this play from MacSed. Definitely preferring it to what we saw from Jim as a response to this build. In fact, double cannon, it's going to give him a lot of security against this. That basically means that, in fact, if you go double cannon, you don't really need to pull probes, but then again, his Forge was somewhat late, so I guess that's why. With this hatchery, there's just no chance the Queen's going to get out. That's what this says. With 4 probes and 2 cannons, it's not going to happen. So Sen just going to, either just let it finish, get some creep up. Might even cancel, but he'll probably let it finish just to get the creep to block the hatchery for longer. Or block the Nexus for longer. Yes, he does let it finish. No Queen on the way. We'll see if he tries to make Lings like he did last game. I doubt it. Too many cannons here to kill them off. And he did plenty of damage. He's delayed the Nexus by a lot. He had 4 probes not mining for a lot. And he forced 2 cannons early on. Absolutely worth it here from Sen. But he hasn't taken an expansion yet. It's being pylon. Whoa, it knocked my mic there. Sorry about that. It hasn't taken an expansion yet. It's being blocked by a pylon. And he can't really go take the third either. There's a probe there. So he actually made 6 Lings. And he will go set up a drone to go take the third. But the probe will be able to block that for now. But he should just be able to take the natural and then take the third immediately. After killing that probe off. Probe is going to just run away. And get the heck out of there. Max is going to try to help complete his wall off. Add another pylon so he can continue making probes here. He's actually going to be almost supply blocked even after that pylon finishes. Might need to get a third one. Nexus, bro. 550 minerals. What are you doing? Oh, the right. What am I saying? There's creep still. It was 1 pixel. 1 pixel too far. He drops it the second he can. Nice job. And he's already got gas on the way. So this is a moment where what Sen did might seem like, well, is that really worth it? Well, first off, it probably is. Secondly, what's great about it is that if your opponent is one of those kind of standardized players, they're really not going to know how to react. Like a lot of players play with a lot of standardized timings. You drop your gas at a certain time, you do your build in a certain order, and if this happens to you, everything is just kind of thrown to the wayside. You don't really know what you're doing. You have to play a lot more dynamically and reactively. So it comes down to how much has MacSed practiced those types of games where something happens that you're really not used to and you're not prepared for, and you kind of have to dynamically alter your build, and none of the timings end up being standard anymore. So it's like much harder to play when PvZ is a very timing oriented matchup. Great play by Sen. He is chronoing Warp Gate here, so we'll see if MacSed goes for some early Warp Gate aggression. He does have +1 on the way, so it could be something like +1 4 Gate. You generally want to keep the 2 upgrades even though when you do that, so, and we don't see Chrono going into a +1 to keep it up with Warp Gate. So I'm curious what he's going to do. Is he going to put his Chrono into probes now or something? Yeah, he is. Chrono into probes. He's adding a Twilight, so it might just be another fast DT play from MacSed, but wasn't successful last game. We'll see if we can make it work this game. See if Sen can scout it out again. This time he's getting a much faster +1 though, so maybe this will be Blink with +2 instead of DT. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, guys. No, he is making Zealot still though instead of Stalkers, so that makes me think it's not Blink. You'd want to build up that Stalker count over time. You don't really need 2 Zealots to block your choke there. So it just really makes me think he wanted more units but didn't want to spend the gas, and that it would be DT. There are 3 more gates though. Is the Overlord going to scout it? Well, the Dark Shrine hasn't been started. Maybe it's not DT. I don't know. Maybe he just wants to get fast +2, but then the Twilight was so early. It's like, what did you get this Twilight for? It is going to be Blink. Wow. So no Stalkers. Goes into Blink. Early Twilight. We'll be able to continue to +2, but it's pretty early for that. Maybe he did that in reaction to the Overlord scouting it. That's possible. Might have been going DT, but then he sees the Overlord and he's like, I guess I can't do that anymore. Better go Blink. Meanwhile, Sen is going up to 5 gas now. Oh, 4 gas. Okay, he doesn't have the second one in his main. So this looks like 100% standard. You could not get more standard than this in terms of, you know, going up to 4 gas, getting your lair, Roachhorn Evo Chamber. You're going to get +1. You're going to get Roach Speed. And you're going to make a ton of Roaches and Zerglings. You're going to haul off the push that you know is coming off the 2-base Protoss. And he knows it's going to be Blink too, so we might see him get Burrow as soon as Blink finishes. Or, excuse me, as soon as the lair finishes. Might see him add on a Hydroden instead. Some players like to do that in the Korea server. Really hard to get Infestors in time for this build, so that's really unlikely. And MacSed's already getting ready to put on the pressure with this early Blink timing. Now, you won't have +2, which is a huge deal for Blink Stalkers. But he will have a pretty early timing. I'm really surprised he just warped in 3 Zealots instead of Stalkers. He had the gas to make Stalkers, but chose to make Zealots, which seems bizarre. But then again, if he's up against a lot of Speedlings with the Roaches, it could help out. 22 Speedlings on the way. Sen doesn't have Speed actually just yet, though. So no, it's not Speedlings. Those are just normal Zerglings. He actually went lair before Speed. In fact, a lot of Roaches before Speed. So really crazy play there. Not going to be able to deny forward pylons, but we'll have more Roaches. Roach Speed's on the way, but will be a long time before that'll be complete. This early Blink time could be hard to deal with. He doesn't have Burrow on the way. He's got plenty of minerals, though. There's Burrow. Plenty of minerals to make a whole bunch of Speedlings to deal with this. Well, yet again, doesn't have speed. I don't know why I keep saying Speedlings. MacSed has to be so precarious, though, or so careful. He's only got 1 sentry, so, you know, a bad surround or something, he could be in some serious trouble. That's why he's just kind of pulling back and waiting for more warp-ins. No 3rd base on the way, so he's not just trying to apply pressure while taking a 3rd. He's really just going for it here. He's adding on a Robo and 3 more gates, so he's going to go up to 7 gate with Robo. This is going to be an absolute all-in. Just nothing but Blink Stalkers, a couple sentries if you can make them, and an Observer. Maybe we'll see an Immortal, but I doubt it. Oh, the Roach is moving forward from Sen, but he doesn't have Roach Speed yet. Zergling Speed close to completion. Burrow about halfway done. All those critical upgrades, once they complete, it'll make this push so much harder for MacSed. He does have +2 about to complete. Maybe he'll hit with that. Maybe he'll wait for the Robo to produce an Observer. But there's Roach Speed, man. That's going to be really hard for him to deal with. If they just kind of run forward and target down Stalkers, you can't really blink away effectively because they just die too quickly. It's something you can only really do when you do have Roach Speed. And he's got it. +1 Carapace is on the way as well. 15 more Roaches. Oh my god, he's going to max out so quickly here. Oh, what? MacSed pulling back. Is he just going to go take a 3rd? Maybe he's going to go take a 3rd. So he's going to like pressure and then take an expansion off of 7 gateways instead of 6 or 5 or 4 even. That's a lot of gateways to make to then take an expansion. I feel like, well, I could be wrong here, guys, but I feel like Sen, if he just maxes and just kind of attacks, I don't know if MacSed's going to be able to hold it with a 12-minute 3rd that's just so late to be able to actually hold against this type of Roach Max build. But Sen might not go for it because he's actually adding an Infestation Pit and going up to 6 gas instead of maxing. So he's not actually going up to 200 on Roach. He's just going to take a 4th and play more of a standard macro game, and that's great to see. But it also means that MacSed should be able to get up the 3rd successfully. Still, this is a really big, large, extremely scary army. If he just goes and attacks right now, it could be pretty hard for MacSed to deal with. But he doesn't have +1 Carapace yet, and that makes a big difference against those +2 Stalkers, whether you're at 0-0 or 1-0. He's going to take out some of these rocks. Maybe we'll be able to apply some multi-pronged aggression on both sides of the 3rd. One of the biggest keys to this map. Not just attacking in one location, but kind of splitting up your harassment. So the Protoss doesn't know where to send his army, where to send his sentries. And there he goes, man. He's going to be able to attack over here at the 3rd, pull the army out of position. Here come the Roaches up towards the natural. keep in mind, Sen is like totally macroing behind this. He's got a 4th base, another macro hatch, pathogen glands. He's attacking over there at the 3rd again. MaxSed very carefully keeping his army there, not worried about these roaches with the natural. Great play. 1 sentry, just a really small force here holding off those roaches. So, whoa, sorry about that. I just messed up on my start menu, but Sen just unable to actually split up his army effectively to be able to apply pressure. So, I mean, to apply pressure, he just was unable to actually do any damage. So MaxSed defending very well. But keep in mind the 4th base is up. Sen's going to have 8 gas. He does have 6 infestors on the way. Should be able to get that hive pretty soon here. As well as that spire, hopefully. Don't want to see ultras on this map. There's that hive on the way. Or are we going to see the spire? Oh my god, he's not really going to go ultralisk on Cloud Kingdom, is he? That would be pretty crazy. But then again, he is maxing, well, not maxing, but getting some melee upgrades here. Plus 2 Carapace on the way. So then just sending his whole army home. Just kind of being safe here. Checking around the map. I would love to see him hold these Zanaga towers, though. That would be pretty awesome for map control. He has access to both of them right now, but is holding neither. Colossus deck is on the way from MaxSed, so trying to deal with that high roach sling count by adding on some Colossi. A great move. Will it be enough? Will it be quick enough? Especially against the infestors, it can be great. Has he scouted the infestation? No, he hasn't scouted at all with those observers. He's just leaving them outside his bases to watch for the roaches coming. Very good observer positioning. Try to watch for those attacks incoming, to be able to defend accordingly. He's going to set up a wall over here at the natural. I love this play. Not enough players do this on this map. You really want to focus yourself over here by the 3rd, especially if you're going to go try to take a 4th. So, walling this area off makes it so much easier to deal with counterattacks. Does have to be careful about some roaches trying to pick off his gateways, though. Oh, kills off a gateway with no cancel. There is a cancel on the second one. So, you know, he's losing gateways here, but that's alright. It's not a big deal. But the problem is that his army's a little bit out of position, and Roach is running over his 3rd. He might just be able to target fire the 3rd. They're already in position, so he can't be force fielded. But no, Sen doesn't want to take the risk of losing all those roaches before he has Greater Spire out. Spire's on the way, but quite late as his high's already done. But you don't want to risk losing your roaches right now. You want to wait, lose them a little bit later, because if you lose them right now, the Protoss can just go counterattack, and then you have to rebuild roaches, which you don't really want to be doing. You want to save up that, be able to actually build Corruptors, build Broodlords. He does have plus, or Adrenal Glands on the way, so really focusing on his Lings, being able to be quite aggressive. His 4th base is mining at double gas. He's got these infestors just pumping out energy. And it looks like MaxSed either going to go for an attack or we're going to go take a 4th base here. What are his units here? He's got 1 Colossus, 3 Immortals, 27 Blink Stalkers, 8 Sentries. That's a good number of Sentries. And he is making more Colossi and getting range, so he's not just stopping at 1, trying to fake his opponent out. He's going to try to take a 4th here, but that's a really hard location to take a 4th, especially in the later game. If you're trying to be aggressive and your army's out of position and 2 Infestors come over on the upper ground and fungal or infested tearing your probes, that can be really hard to deal with. There's a lot of open areas around this expansion. So we'll see if he's able to successfully defend it if Sen tries to go for some engagement. But Sen not going for engagements anytime soon. He's making mass Spinecrawler right now while he tries to get up to Broodlord. So not until he has Broodlords will we see him actually attack. Stargate already on the way though, so MaxSed very much so anticipating this. Does he have vision of it? No, still no observer over there. So just anticipating this Broodlord timing, and will be able to get out a mothership hopefully in time. Will it be in time though? We don't know. We'll see. 1 Colossus with this push. He will be able to move on to the upper ground and kind of deny the mining here for Sen. Kills off a gas guys. They're pretty important. But Sen has a pretty big bank. 2,500, 1,400. He's only not maxed because he doesn't want to be. He just wants to build up as much as possible into Broodlords. But the problem is he doesn't have them yet. Great fungals going down on the sentries though. Doing a lot of damage to them, but he needs to actually refungal for it to be effective. Otherwise it ends up being wasted energy because they just regen their shields. You really gotta get those refungals, but it looks like he might just have to abandon this 4th base. His Broodlord's just a little bit too late. 9 on the way, but not in time to save this hatchery. Meanwhile, the 4th is getting up from MaxSed, so MaxSed actually taking a pretty big advantage in this game in terms of bases, but does he have the advantage in the army? You know, once 9 Broodlords are out, this is gonna get pretty scary for him. He's gonna need really good blinks, but fungals are there, of course. Oh, the Broodlords all hatching over here. He might be able to blink over and pick him off. No, he doesn't want to take the risk. The army's too close by, but meanwhile, a Zergling counterattack from Sen. He'll be able to try to pick off this 4th base here as his changelings scout him out. Zealous do get warped in, but oh my god, the entire army from MaxSed getting pulled to go deal with that. I guess why not? He already killed off the 4th. He's not going to kill this 3rd right now. Go defend the counterattack, but he looks like he'll lose the Nexus in the process. Great attack by Sen. If he had allowed that Nexus to complete and he were a 3-base Zerg against a 4-base Protoss, it would have been disastrous. Even with his Broodlords. But now they took out the 4th, he's totally fine. Yeah, you don't want to be 3-base versus 3-base, but if you already have your Broodlords, it's not as important. Like, you already have the gas that you needed from that 4th. You've already got your Broodlords. You're set for now. You've got the army you wanted. Infestor, Broodlord, Queen. Some roaches. We have some Blinkstalkers moving over here, but there's no expansion, actually. So MacSed can be like, oh, okay, there's nothing to kill. I guess I'll just go meet up with the rest of my main army. And his mothership has only just been started, so this timing is just way too early for MacSed to be able to deal with. He would need like a sick Blink Under, but there's just too many Infestors, too many Broodlords. Look at all these high energy Infestors. He really can't afford to Blink Under this army. Just a couple of Infested Terrans being put out for some security there for Sen. He's going to kill off that 4th Nexus easy. No cancel. Nexus goes down. Meanwhile, Blinkstalkers will be able to pick off this hatchery. Great cancel by Sen. Look at those reaction times. He's clearly got some better multitasking here than MacSed. And the Stalkers are going to be able to try and move up to the natural, but there's too many Spine Crawlers, especially with this choke point. He's going to have to get out of there. There's no chance of him breaking this. Meanwhile, he's going to lose his 3rd. Sen taking a decisive advantage in this game when he's already up 1-0 in the series. He's looking like he has too much for MacSed to deal with. The mothership just takes way too long to build. Like, if you're trying to make a mothership right now, it's going to pop out. It's not even going to have the energy. Until it has 100 energy, it's pretty much worthless right now. All it's going to add is cloaking, and your opponent already has Overseer and the ability to fungal. Stalker's going to maybe come in here for a flank. Maybe he'll just try to blink and pick off as many Broodlords as possible. Oh no, they get fungled and they're trapped. That maybe was a misrally. He didn't mean to move in there with that army like that. That's just a suicide for all those Stalkers, and every Stalker is so important right now. Broodlord's starting to encroach forward onto MacSed's territory here. The mothership pops out, but I don't know what it'll actually be able to accomplish. We don't have Neuroparasite from Sen, so we won't be able to steal it. But he should be able to fungal it if he feels like it. Where are his Corruptors? Actually, I don't think he has... No Corruptors, so won't be able to pick it off. Should just be able to infest a Terran it. Whoa! Gotta be careful about the fact that, you know, there is cloaking there. It's just kind of walking to the army. He does fungal it. But GG gets called out. MacSed realizing he's losing his whole ground army. Mothership, even if it got enough energy to Vortex, would... You know, it's going to die to Queens right now. Vortex not going to do anything when you have no army to help you out. So a 2-0 advantage here to Sen. Playing quite well in this series. Basically, MacSed went for a Blink build. And then just took a 3rd Nexus. And it was like super late. And he managed to hold it. But it was super late. And his Blink attack really didn't... Like, it forced units out of Sen. But it didn't like delay him that much. And he killed the 4th, but Sen already had Broodlords, and he'd already been mining gas from it for quite a while. And he just wasn't prepared for that Broodlord transition in time. So a nice play by Sen. He takes game number 2. We're going to move into game 3. See if maybe MacSed can show us some type of miracle comeback, or if Sen's really going to shut him out. I don't know, guys. We'll see. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after I can finish stumbling over my own words while I'm solo casting after this quick commercial break.